ICE agent fatally shoots a man during a Chicago raid, and guess what? Lies about it. Here we go.
In front of the VCA.
He tried to run us over.
Okay.
He started one officer down the road.
Okay, where's he at?
No, he's not the one that got
That's you? Oh, okay.
I'm the driver.
You're the driver?
Yeah.
Okay, get off the road.
You guys good?
What's up?
You guys good?
I got an ambulance coming through there, all right?
Any other suspects? Any other suspects?
No, the suspects?
Yeah.
He's
No, he's the only one. Is there
yes,
anybody else?
that's
It's
only
else out?
Hey, stop. The kid.
This may not be the first time this has happened. 2 weeks ago, a man was shot and killed by ICE in Franklin Park, Illinois. ICE issued a statement justifying the killing. Now we actually have the footage of the officer's first reaction to this. This footage was at the scene. But speaking over a radio, the federal agent who told the police that Villegas González tried to use his chair as a weapon said his partner had suffered, quote, a left knee injury and some lacerations to his hand. Nothing major. The injured agent said, nothing major. His partner echoed. We have the footage. Watch.
And our law enforcement officer is in serious condition.
Just a left knee injury and some lacerations with Nothing major. Officer, wouldn't it be states at a minimum?
No, because it's a federal shooting. They're not going to investigate a federal officer.
Nothing major. Report serious injuries. Nothing major. Serious injuries. 2 weeks ago, a man was shot and killed by ICE. Shortly after, ICE issued a statement justifying the killing, saying the federal agent was, quote, seriously injured. Seriously injured. Pritzker said, referring to a statement from the Department of Homeland Security. Bodycam videos from Franklin Park police officers showed the hurt ICE agent describing his own injuries as, quote, nothing major. Pritzker on Monday focused on that comment, saying the video, quote, has brought to light that the injuries were, in the agent's own words, nothing major. A man is dead, a community is shaken up, and we are yet again left with more questions than answers. Put them up. See, that's called a human being, a man, a person, a soul, flesh and blood. 38-year-old Silverio Villegas González was killed that day. Mr. González was shot and killed September 12th after 2 ICE agents pulled him over, according to the Department of Homeland Security. The federal agency said Mr. González dragged one of the officers a significant distance with his car after he resisted arrest and attempted to flee, injuring the agent who, quote, fearing for his own life, end quote, opened fire. This was a traffic stop turned fatal. Mr. González, a single father of 2 children, was driving to work after having dropped off his sons, who are 6 years of age and 3. He dropped them off at school and daycare on the morning of September 12th, according to relatives and friends. As Mr. González was driving his car, a silver Subaru, a white unmarked Jeep, pulled in front of him, according to security video from a nearby nail salon, broadcast by local CBS Chicago. Two ICE agents are seen getting out of the Jeep. One agent approached Mr. González on the passenger side of his Subaru, and the other agent on the driver's side. I want you to think about the scene. You have a dutiful father, regardless of the context you would like to describe him in, being documented or undocumented. You have a father who is dutiful to his children, to his family, and to his responsibility as a provider. I thought that was the goal. Drops off his children. All of a sudden, two unmarked vehicles provide a maneuver. They engage in a maneuver that typically would warrant one to believe they are being robbed. He tries to flee, according to the report. However, no videos show the actual shooting. The ICE agent being dragged. No video shows the ICE agent being injured, making it difficult to corroborate DHS's account of what actually happened. The agents themselves were not wearing body cameras. A DHS official told NBC News, well, why are they not wearing body cameras? Because federal law allows them not to. That's why. As a matter of fact, that federal law is so absolute that if your local police, if they are involved in the federal task force, guess what? Even if it's law that your local police wear cameras, well, the federal law overrides your local law. And all of a sudden, your local police officers are no longer wearing the lawfully required body cameras. It's a workaround, it's a trick. They've done it in Atlanta many times. There's more. Speaking over radio, a federal agent who told the police that Mr. González tried to use his car as a weapon said his partner has suffered a left knee injury and some lacerations to his hands. Quote, nothing major. The injured agent said, nothing major. His partner echoed. That's called a direct utterance, an excited utterance during the moment, permissible. Get you away from the hearsay laws in the court of law. An excited utterance in the moment, admissible in a court of law. Why? Because you don't have time to make up a story. That's why it's not categorized as hearsay, or at least is hearsay that's admissible. Yes, you didn't have time to make up a lie in the midst of the moment. Excited utterance. And then the excited utterance is confirmed by the partner. Shortly after the shooting, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security reported the agent, quote, sustained multiple injuries and was, quote, seriously injured when he was, quote, dragged a significant distance by Mr. González's car as he fled a traffic stop. These are narratives and not truth. DHS official said the agent had opened fire, fearing for his life. Also in Chicago, an ICE operation left children zip-tied in a horrific apartment building raid. Roughly 300 agents, according to News Nations, raided the building. 37 people were arrested. The Department of Homeland Security released a statement alleging that, quote, some of the targeted subjects are believed to be involved in drug trafficking and distribution, weapons crimes, and immigration violators. But Patricia Fisher, who lives in the building, told ABC 7 Chicago that ICE agents forced everyone out and only asked questions later. Fisher said she was handcuffed and questioned before being released at around 3 a.m. The officer, she noted, just treated us like we were nothing. And it was scary because I had never had a gun in my face, end quote. Another ABC 7 interviewee ducked upon hearing flashbangs detonate and was then distressed by the sight of children detained. Quote, they was bringing the kids down too, had them zip tied to each other, she said. Quote, that's all I kept asking. What is the morality? Where's the human, meaning humanity? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, F them kids. I feel pity for you. Yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I think you're disgusting and immoral. But at the end of the day, I have pity for you. F them kids. See, what you don't know is that you live inside of a universe. And while it may seem that you all are getting away with something, or it may seem you can hide behind your mask and your commander and savior, Donald Trump, and your statute here and your statute there, none of us will ever be able to get away from the karma that can come when you decide to harm these little ones. And that is what you have decided to do. You don't need a job that bad where you have to sell your soul to get a paycheck. It's not worth it. And I would imagine if you feel like this about children today, you felt like this about children prior to getting that job. I would also imagine that they are hiring individuals who have this kind of mentality. Where's your whistleblowers? Where's the decent human being here and there? They can't be found. Well, there's a cultural shift. A witness of the same name told Chicago Sun-Times, it was heartbreaking to see kids coming out butt naked and taken from their mothers, end quote. Witness Daryl Ballard recalled seeing the agents use, quote, a big 15-inch chainsaw to cut down the fence. Quote, we're under siege, he said. Quote, we're being invaded by our own military. That's right. It looks like a military occupation than a law enforcement raid, right? And here's the irony. We're forced to pay for our own oppression. It's coming directly from taxpayer dollars. That money they sift from your hard-earned paycheck every week goes toward madness like that domestically. Now, they already make us pay for their wars abroad. Now they're making us pay for them domestically too. Quote, I asked agents why they were holding me if I was an American citizen. They don't give a damn, American citizen or not. And they said, I had to wait until they looked me up, Johnson told the Sun-Times. Quote, I asked if they had a warrant, and I asked for a lawyer. They never brought one. The governor, J.B. Pritzker, had issued a response to the recent raids. Here it is. Will governor have them arrested? You have the authority. It's called concurrent jurisdiction. Have them arrested for breaking the law. That's what they would do to your law enforcement. If your law enforcement actually followed the law and somehow following the law got in the way of them not following the law, they will simply arrest your local law enforcement. Jamie, thoughts here?
Well, speaking, he said, it's not policy to just arrest the usual suspects, arrest people because they're black and brown. But unfortunately, this Supreme Court, that is enough for ICE. ICE can detain people on suspicion just because they look vaguely Hispanic. I don't even know why they bother coming up with these fantastical stories. Why do they even bother lying about the extent of the officer's injuries? Because they have absolutely no checks and balances on them. The Trump administration has emboldened this Gestapo. I mean, they wearing masks, unmarked vehicles, no badges, no cameras, assaulting journalists, arresting elected officials, detaining and deporting anyone they feel like, regardless of citizenship status. I mean, the extrajudicial killings now. This is what fascism is. When people throw up a red flag because we throw around that term, perhaps there are some people on the left who throw around that term a little not carefully, but this is directly fascism. This is state-sponsored violence. And you can say what you want about local law enforcement, and we have said quite a good deal about them because there's a lot wrong with them. But at least there is some modicum of oversight with your police. At least they're required to. There is internal affairs that investigates their actions. They do require to wear body cameras. ICE is just the Wild West at this point, doing God knows what under some authority that they've created for themselves. I mean, they've actively declared war on the American people. Unfortunately, I mean, we need common sense immigration reform, but this could not be further from that.
That's right, and hopefully there's a remedy coming soon. But the way it's looking so far, you don't have the leadership among the Democratic ranks in order to enforce either judicially or by way of direct command, and enforcement of the actual stated statutory rules and regulations that apply, making sure the citizens' rights are intact. We'll bring you updates as they come.